Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and today's trending rumors post-Sunday reaction after the Raiders' 31-13 loss is presented by our good friends over at Roan. If you like the commuter shirt that I got on, well then, hey, go check them out. I put the links for you guys in the comments and in the description of today's video. Major shout out to Roan. So what you're going to get here on today's show is me talking about the top trending topics moving forward. I'm done talking about this past season. It was a frustrating year, so I'm going to try to look at the glass half full, and we're going to talk about Josh Jacobs. I'm going to talk about the quarterback situation. I want to tell you who you guys should root for today going into Sunday's action. The first thing, though, is Josh Jacobs. Is he going to be returning to the silver and black in 2023? My personal opinion is you got two options with Jacobs. Option number one, you franchise tag him. It's going to be somewhere around $12.7 million. If you look at Spotrac over the cap projections, if he demands a trade, then because he doesn't want to get franchise tag, well, at least then you're going to get some sort of draft compensation coming after his best season that he's ever had. He's going to be the rushing king leader, at least I believe so, unless somebody has an insane game today, getting over like 200 rushing yards. But you will get at least a second, potentially even a first-round pick. I love Josh. I want him to be back on this team, but giving him a 3-year extension at somewhere around $34, $35 million a year, I don't see that that's what you need to do. If the Raiders were running back away, we know they're not. This team needs to upgrade their offensive line. You need defense, a little Salt Bay of more defense to make this team better. And if Jacobs requires a big contract, I don't want that to happen. But bringing him in on a franchise tag, I think that that's the smartest thing that this Raiders team can do moving forward. So, y'all, it's going to be an insane offseason. I'm telling y'all right now, shout out to all the GOATs that showed up yesterday. Raider Ron, Wild 114, Tri-Van Raiders podcast. I love y'all, and this offseason is going to be something special. I'm telling you all right now, it's going to be insane. So hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, because even though the regular season's over, the offseason here in the Raiders Report sometimes can get even more wild. Let's go to the next topic here. Davante Adams picking the next Raiders quarterback. I don't know if he's just going to outright pick the QB, but I do know this. When you give a player 5 years, $140 million, you want him to be happy, right? Davante wants to remain happy. He's always going to wish the best for his buddy Derek Carr, and I don't blame him for doing that. But Davante flat out told the Raiders organization, hey, I want to be in the loop. I'm the guy. Y'all paid me all this money. I think that I want to be a happy person and pick my next quarterback. And if I'm McDaniels and Ziegler, why the hell would you not want to make Adams happy? Why would you not have arguably the best wide receiver in football pick the quarterback that he wants? Now, this is what Davante Adams had to say this week. My dream was to play for this team before he was a Raider. He was talking about Derek Carr. And at this point, I want to try to make this thing work and continue on doing what I'm doing here, myself get better, see the team grow, and get better as well. If all Davante Adams wants to do is be in the loop, cool. And his contract, for him and his sake, also illustrates that. Because if he wants to make that final $80 million on the remainder of his deal, the Raiders need to win football games. And I think deep down, he knows that as well. So looping in one of your captains, looping in Davante Adams in the quarterback situation, to me, that tells me that you're going to more than likely get a veteran in 2023. So if you had to guess, I want you to look into your crystal balls right now and tell me, what quarterback do you think Davante Adams is going to want in silver and black? I'm going to make this the pinned comment on today's video, so you're going to get hit with a YouTube ad break. Scroll on down and let me know. All right, we're going to get into a quote now again from Adams this week. It was, me, Josh, Ziggs. We all got really good dynamic, and it's something that I really appreciate. And I've mentioned it to them as well. They don't have to do anything. I'm not a part of the front office, but they know the reason why I came here. And a step like this is something that means a lot to me in my personal career. What I'm trying to chase as far as the ultimate pursuit is to get a ring. I know this. Davante Adams wants to get a ring. And I think if I keep wearing these Roan shirts, shit, I might get a ring on my hand as well. Go to roan.com/chatsports for 20% off your order. I love the commuter shirt. It's great for when I'm going to work. It's great for when I'm going out and getting a drink with the boys. It's great with date night with Alex. Hell, Chuck even likes it. And the dog hair, it's easy to get off because of how flexible and just honestly versatile it is. So let me tell you about Roan here a little bit. Men's clothes were due for a radical reinvention, and Rhone stepped up to the challenge. Rhone's commuter collection is the most comfortable, breathable, and flexible set of products known to man, and here's why. Product for every occasion. Rhone helps you get ready for any occasion with the commuter collection, which offers the world's most comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos. You don't even have to worry about what to wear when you have the Rhone commuter collection. Mobility, to me, it's everything. Rhone's comfortable four-way stretch fabric provides breathable and flexibility that leaves you free to enjoy what life throws your way, from the commute to work, or if you want to play 18 holes of golf. Looking good is easy. It's time to feel confident without the hassle. With Rhone's wrinkle release technology, wrinkles disappear and stretch where the product thinks it's that easy to move. Odor-free tech. With Gold Fusion anti-odor technology, you'll be smelling fresh and clean all day. On top of that, Rhone is 100% machine washable, so you can ditch the dry cleaner altogether. The commuter collection can get you through any workday and straight into whatever comes next. Head to Rhone.com/chatsports and use promo code chatsports to save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you head to RHONE.com/chatsports and use code chatsports to find your corner office somewhere. Let's go to the next story here, and somebody honestly probably also would look great in Rhone shirts. I mean, Jimmy G, Tom Brady, right? Do the Raiders have interest in both of these quarterbacks? I have been trying to tell y'all for a long time. The sooner Raider Nation comes to the realization that it's more than likely going to be Tom Brady or even Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm still going to put my chips on the table for Brady, the happier you're going to be. At the end of the day, man, all I care about is winning. That's all I want the Raiders to do. And I want Josh McDaniels, honestly, to have less power. But there was a report that came out this week from NFL insider Albert Breer. And even Albert Breer straight up said the Raiders are looking into Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo. If I'm Davante Adams, I get to pick my quarterback, I'm not going to want to go out and get a rookie. Now, sure, you can still draft a rookie or have a young quarterback learn underneath one of these veterans who know the system. I want Brady more than I want Jimmy G. And if I got to pick between both of them, I'm going to type TB. But you know what? Raider Nation, I don't care what Mark Davis said. I don't care if Mark Davis said that he's embarrassed by Raider Nation not showing up. Shout out to the dude who brought the Raider Nation deserves better sign. That was some legendary shit. If you got kicked out of the Raiders game for just being a fan yesterday, for holding up a sign, I apologize to you. I'm hoping good things come forward. You know what helps good things? Having a good quarterback. So if you had to pick a QB for the Silver and Black, is it Tom Brady? Type TB. Is it Jimmy Garoppolo, JG? If it's somebody else, obviously if Lamar Jackson hits the open market, totally different conversation. But if we're just looking at free agents, I do think it's going to be TB. I know some people think it's going to be Rodgers, but man, you got to trade a lot of draft capital, and Rodgers is going to be making $50 million, where Tom Brady, to me, probably is going to be making less than 30. Next story coming up here, Jarrett Stidham, QB1. I said last week this was an overreaction, and guess what? Jarrett Stidham came back down to earth in his second game. He was phenomenal against the Niners. The offense clicked on all cylinders. You put up 500 total yards against the number one defense in the NFL. Stidham was able to run the ball 34 yards. He was also able to pass it, 3 touchdowns. I think he got very unlucky with those 2 interceptions. But against Kansas City, 1 week of homework, they made him very uncomfortable. I do think that having Alex Bars one-on-one with Chris Jones, that didn't make any sense to me because single-handedly, I'm not shitting you, I bet you Alex Bars allowed 4 sacks and double-digit pressures by himself. Stidham, though, 219 yards, a touchdown, 1 interception, 1 fumble. You can't go into next season with Stidham as your quarterback. However, I do think, though, the Raiders would have tried to bring him back during the offseason because he is going to be a free agent. And instead of paying him, because if he would have had another good game against Kansas City, you probably would have had to pay him $5+ million. After the game that you saw, I think now he's definitely sub $5 million a year. Now remember, y'all, stay up to date on Twitter at MitchellRen365. I do look a little bit different because I changed my picture to Tri-Van, so be on the lookout for that. On Instagram, if you want to get to know me more personal, that's where you're at. And then I'm going to be doing a live show tomorrow over on Locals, RaidersReport.locals.com. Let's all talk about the final trending topic, the Raiders 2023 draft pick. As it stands right now, the Raiders can get up to the 6th pick. I believe they can also fall as far down to 9. But if the season were to end literally today, before the Sunday game started, Raiders would have the number 7 overall pick. If you're wondering, well, how can we get up to the 6th round or 6th overall pick? I'm glad you asked. This is what I would believe would be the best case scenario for the Raiders. if the Texans beat the Colts, okay, and then if the Vikings beat the Bears, hear me out, okay? Hear me out. So Vikings at Bears, Texans at Colts. If the Texans win, but actually if the Bears win, then they switch, correct? Then they switch. So I think if the Bears have the number 1 overall pick, they're not going to take a quarterback, which means then the quarterback's going to fall down a little bit. Chaos can ensue. If you do want the Raiders, though, to get the number 6 overall pick, you're rooting for the Rams to beat the Seahawks this week, and you're rooting for the Falcons to beat the Buccaneers. So if the Rams and Falcons win, Las Vegas has the number 6 overall pick. If those things don't happen, if the Rams lose and the Falcons lose, well, then you're probably going to drop back down to 8. But as it stands right now, you got the number 7 overall pick. Hopefully both of those teams win because at this point, yeah, guess what? I'm hoping for better draft capital going forward. Cheers to all y'all. Hopefully you enjoy your Sunday. Watch some good football. I'm going to be hanging out here in the Chat Sports office, and if anything crazy happens this entire offseason, like I agreed to this, if the Raiders do get Tom Brady, it's going to be a 24-hour straight live show here on the Raiders Report. Don't miss it, so turn on those notifications.